Hey, y'all, this is Derek from the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. To see more videos like what you're about to see, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help support this independent podcast. James Conner finished RB20, 183 rush attempts, 782 yards, 7 touchdowns, 46 receptions, 58 targets, 300 yards through the air, and 1 touchdown through the air as well. Thoughts on James Conner?
James Conner is a very serviceable RB2. He has RB1 upside when he is right and that offense is clicking. But with the injury of Kyler Murray, James Conner just went through the floor, right? Like it was so easy to just load the box and dare everybody else to try and beat them. I do think that kind of stunted it. Obviously, he had some touchdown regression from 2 seasons ago. Um, it was an unfortunate situation for James Conner. That being said, he's not a bad RB2 option. I would much rather have him as my third running back, which is possible with how all this is shaking out. So more than likely he would be my number 3 running back, and I would be really okay with that because if I can have 3 in the top 24, more often than not, I'm happy with how that part of my roster has been built.
Yeah, I was big on James Conner last year, and unfortunately, I mean, look, he was a touchdown fiend 2 years, 2 years ago, and I knew going in he wasn't going to match that. That was pretty remarkable what he was doing in terms of finding the end zone. But the team just there was no help around him when Kyler got hurt. It was pretty much over. So I think that you might have a lot of people like me with the recency bias of what James Conner was. I think there's somewhere in the middle, right? I think there's somewhere in the middle of what 2 years ago was and what last year was. That's where James Conner is. I think that's your level.
Going right as RB kind of 22 off the board, coming off the board in kind of the fifth round there. Yeah, early to mid fifth. So you could do it. You're going to be very running back heavy in rounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you could certainly do that there. And as like a flex option, James Conner does a couple of things really nice for your fantasy roster. If you can put him in as a flex, one, he's pretty consistent. He's not going to necessarily go out and win you a week, but he typically isn't going to lose you a week either. He's going to be very consistent in there, getting you anywhere from that kind of 8 to 12 points type of thing. Like you can just pretty consistently bank on that one in a half point PPR there. I think James Conner will get a pretty decent workload. I don't know that I'm seeing him go more than about 200 touches, more than 800 yards, and call it a handful of touchdowns. So I think we'll see kind of a similar finish in that back end of RB2 type of territory there.